Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Netlinked Weekly. What's hot, awesome deals, tips, and news from your favorite store, NCIX.com. So let's go ahead and get started with the NCIX's Smorgasbord of Savings sale event. While this is a very sort of cool idea, I don't know if this gentleman here who's actually eating a hard drive and this gentleman here who's got some Rocat mice under a platter are actually going to get any sustenance from this, but it's a cool concept nonetheless. Kudos to Tom for the idea. So we've got PlayStation 3s, headsets, GeForce and Radeon graphics cards living together in perfect harmony, 600 cases, and moving right along to the top deals in this sale. So the Define R4 window version is at $99.99. I can't really think of too many other cases that I would buy in that price point at that price. Something like a 300R from Corsair comes to mind, but that's more if you're going for airflow, whereas the Define R4 is more of sort of an elegant, silent chassis. So fantastic deal right there. Next up, we've got a PNY GeForce GTX 670 at $279.99 after a $40 mail-in rebate, and it comes with a copy of Assassin's Creed 3. Guys, that's basically 660 Ti pricing territory. If you're buying a video card right now and you're looking at 660 Ti's, buy this. Done. Like, done. Next up, we've got a gaming bundle deal with a 3570K and an MSI Z77 M-Powered. That's at $380 for the combo. Guys, reminder, the M-Power is the one where every single board is hand-tested with an overclock to 4.4 to 4.6 gigahertz 3770K in a heat chamber before it actually gets put into a box and shipped to the customer. They do a burn-in test with Prime 95, an enthusiast-grade testing tool. So if you want a combo that will work and will overclock, that can pretty much be it for you there. Next up, we've got a Samsung touchscreen 13-inch Windows 8 Ultrabook. The most notable thing about this is we haven't really seen Windows 8 touchscreen notebooks at all discounted much yet, because it's still pretty fresh and pretty new. So this one's $100 off. So it's $1,000 and you get a Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 128 gig SSD. Speaking of SSDs in Samsung, this is an awesome deal. It's an 840 Pro, which if you guys watched our last SSD update, is right up there as the fastest SSD you can buy as a consumer. And the most notable thing about it is that it's about $1 a gig, which is that magic price point everyone was talking about a few years ago. But more importantly, you get a free copy of Far Cry 3, which is freaking awesome. So there, if you don't have Far Cry 3 and you don't have an SSD, then you could do a lot worse than to get the 840 Pro with a free copy of Far Cry 3. Our tip for the NCIX website for this week is a pretty simple one. Where do you find the most extreme deal each day? You find it on the homepage under Extreme Deal of the Day. In this case, it's an LG 8X Slim external DVD writer, USB 2, only $19.99. $20 is very cheap for an external DVD writer. Next up, yes, just a reminder, guys, the current sweepstakes, if you subscribe to the NCIX newsletter, is for a Gigabyte Z68A D3B3. Yeah, it's an older board, but the good news is Z68 still supports the latest Ivy Bridge Core i7 processors, so it still supports all the things that, not SLI, sorry, I was about to say SLI, still supports Crossfire, still supports DDR3, Lucid, Virtue, so yeah. So make sure you subscribe. You'll have a chance to win. Next, we've got weekly news. So the specs for the next generation Xbox have been leaked. I mean, we don't necessarily know for sure if they're right, but it gives us some idea of what's going on. So there's a Direct 3D 11 point something GPU running at 800 megahertz. We know this. There's an 8-core CPU, 64-bit, running at 1.6 gigahertz. So we can expect that next generation gaming engines are going to be heavily optimized for multi-core, because if they're going to run well on a console that has 8 cores, if they're going to take advantage, I mean, remember, these are 1.6 gigahertz cores. These aren't like clocked through the roof cores. Then we're going to have to start optimizing PC games to run well on multi-core. So that's a really exciting thing as a PC gamer. It's 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, so that's good. Then you've got all of your I/O here, so gigabit Ethernet, HDMI 1.4a, HDMI 1.4a out and in, USB 3, that's a good thing to see. And yeah, so there you go, guys. We'll see what happens with this. Another weekly news, THQ auction. So THQ, basically the entire shebang, hit the auction block. If you guys don't know, THQ is both a developer and a publisher of games. So, yeah. Relic and Company of Heroes went to Sega Corp for $26.6 million. THQ Montreal with 1666 and Underdog went to Ubisoft for $2.5 million. Evolve or Metamorphosis went to Take-Two for $10.8 million. Volition and Saints Row went to Koch. Yeah, I was going to say that the other way, but that's not very funny. For $22.3 million. Homefront went for only $500K to Crytek. Hopefully Crytek does like something awesome with that. That would actually be freaking cool. Metro went for $5.8 million to Koch, and South Park: The Stick of Truth went to Ubisoft. So, yeah, that's a shame, but I guess more consolidation is going to happen. So we're going to be left with basically like EA and Ubisoft, and hopefully Crytek sticks around because I like those guys. That was pretty much it for Netlinked Weekly this week. Don't forget to subscribe to NCIX Tech Tips for more videos like this from your favorite e-tailer, NCIX.com.